The show is brought to you by Boat Patana of Boat Avenue and Shambhala, Phuket. For more information on their properties, see the link in the description below. Welcome to Good Morning Thailand, a brand new week and brand new shirts. Jay, looking smart.
Good morning. Yes, I can feel the Tiger swag.
So you're in an XS?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I bought this at the baby section.
I can't quite figure out, this one I put on an L and it was like sucking me like a tight stocking, and this one's an XL and it seems a bit overlarge, so I somehow fall in between.
Well, sizes generally tend to change. Obviously, if you go to Europe, people are a lot more larger than Thai people, but in Thailand... Allegedly. But in Thailand, the sizes are notoriously, false, I believe. It'll say an XL, but it's actually maybe an M, a European M.
And we've got two different, there's like the tight fit and the easy fit, so anyway.
And the slim fit for you.
So we've got these, turn around so we can see what's on the back.
Yes.
There we go.
Thank you, see me.
So, Tiger, join the conversation, thetiger.com. And we will make the T-shirts available. We haven't quite figured out how we're going to get them to you or how many we're going to get, or anyway, we'll sort that out. But if you like the T-shirts, give us a call. Let's start with the COVID figures. We've got a lot to get through today. Very busy news cycle.
Sure, Tim. Today in Thailand, we have a total of 19,603 COVID infections, 149 deaths due to COVID. We have 303 of those COVID infection among prison inmates. 19,819 were diagnosed, recovered, and discharged. So, and 214,421 people still currently in care.
So the number of people discharged in the past 24 hours almost the same as the new cases.
Yes.
And we should note that this is the second day that we've got the daily case numbers under 20,000. We know
correct.
This isn't the only parameter or how to measure this virus in Thailand, but the trends are important. And I think this is the second time in about 6 days that we've got the numbers under 20,000. So let's hope we have peaked. We might be heading on the way down again. God, they've got enough restrictions rolled out for the past 3 or 4 weeks. You'd like to think that it is starting to have some sort of effect.
Surely, yeah.
All right, so the other thing that happened yesterday was the closing of the Tokyo Olympics. Some people out there probably don't even realise that they actually opened, but they have been going for some 10 days, and it closed yesterday. But did you watch anything?
I did. I watched a little bit of the Olympics. It's difficult because it's quite late on, or it's unclear when exactly the events are, because there's a lot of events happening as well. So I couldn't catch all the events, but I do enjoy watching the Olympics.
How did you watch it? Did you watch it on Netflix or YouTube or
just
network TV? Okay.
Yes.
Don't go any further.
Allegedly.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So was there any standout? I literally didn't see 1 second of the Olympics. I know that Thailand won a gold on the first day.
That's correct.
That's about all I know.
Yes.
I think it was their only gold too.
It was. Well, Thailand won a total of 2 gold medals.
Yay.
One was Panipak, who won it for Taekwondo. First female to win a Taekwondo medal, and also the first Taekwondo medal ever for Thailand. And another woman, her name is Sudaporn, who won it for boxing. So the first female boxer to win a medal. She won a bronze medal for Thailand.
Muay Thai is a demonstration sport?
Yes, Muay Thai is not an official Olympic sport.
So the boxing was traditional boxing.
Western boxing, yes,
okay.
That's correct.
All right, what else was sort of highlights? What other things did I miss?
Well, overall, we're used to certain stars. Usain Bolt is no longer the fastest man in the world anymore. He still holds the record. However, this year, we have Lamont Jacobs from Italy, would you believe it, is currently the fastest man in the world.
But although he's the fastest at the moment in the world, he is quite slower than Usain Bolt's record.
Yes, he did it in 9.8 seconds. I believe Usain Bolt
was around. Walk in the park.
Yeah, no, I know you could run that fast.
I could do it sub 10 seconds.
Yeah. Men's 100-meter butterfly swimming is also still as big. Michael Phelps no longer competing. However, Caleb Dressel, who from USA, who actually competed with Michael Phelps and has won a gold medal with him in the relays, broke his own record actually in the 100-meter butterfly, completing it in 49.45 seconds.
Okay, what we tried to do is find some highlights from the Tokyo Olympics to bring anybody up to date who, like me, didn't see anything.
Yes.
Anything else even vaguely interesting happen?
Well, another big highlight of the Tokyo Olympics was skateboarding is now an official sport and was very big this year. A lot of Japanese athletes won gold medals, and I think Thailand will catch up hopefully for the next Olympics, because surf skating is taking off. So hopefully.
So which country is sort of the leader in skateboarding?
Well, it's still open currently. Japan has won a lot of medals. USA has won some medals. So, I mean, we had actually a mixture of a lot of countries coming together. And since this was the first time, I guess I don't know if someone is just completely dominant yet. I think we would know over the years. But Japan's doing very well currently.
Okay, any other highlights, or that sort of covers it?
Well, yeah, I mean, apart from the sports, for the first time we saw Simone Biles, who's actually a US gymnast, and Naomi Osaka a couple of months ago are some of the big superstars of the world that have actually stood up for mental health. Simone Biles actually withdrew from a couple of events, stating her mental health as a reason. So it's good to see that, these Olympic athletes who work their whole life, sacrifice and go through all of this, can actually take a stand and say like, hey, I need a break. I need some time to get myself together, because sometimes we don't realize that it takes a mental toll on you.
All right. Well, there's a little bit of a wrap-up of the Tokyo Olympics, and I suppose there's a closing ceremony. Again, I haven't seen any of that.
Yes, that already happened.
Usually there's fireworks and spectacle.
Yes,
but,
that's correct. And the passing on of the torch.
To with the baton. No,
Yes.
Is it the baton or the torch?
It's a torch.
The Olympic torch.
That's correct.
It's
So
the
the
Commonwealth
next Olympics,
Games baton.
The next Olympics will be in Paris.
Paris?
Yes.
Okay. All right. In
24.
24,
That's correct.
if it happens. All right. It's 3 years hence, because the Tokyo Games were delayed a year.
That's correct.
Because of the COVID pandemic. Okay, so we're going to have the local headlines, and we should also thank our sponsor, Shambhala. Thank you very much for being part of the program. And we'll have a link under the video if you'd like to find out more about that development on the island of Phuket. But after the local headlines, we'll come back with all the main news stories from around Thailand.
Today on Monday in Thailand, COVID cases have finally dropped below 20,000 infections, going for 2 days straight. Penguin and 3 other activists have turned themselves into the police following the weekend's protests. The island of Koh Lipe enacts 1-month lockdown restrictions starting from today. Royal Thai Police Office in Bangkok has had their signage letters defaced. A couple in Chonburi have been left shocked after a random bullet went through their window glass. Hello and good morning. It's Monday and you're watching Good Morning Thailand. It's now time for the top stories with Tim.
Thanks, Jay. Pirate Penguin Chiwarak, along with 3 other high-profile activists and leaders in the protests against the government, have turned themselves in at the National Police Headquarters after arrest warrants were issued over the weekend protests in violation of the emergency decree. The warrants for their arrest focused on the violation of the emergency decree and Communicable Disease Control Act, which currently bans any gatherings of more than 5 people in dark red zones, rather than focus on the harsher charges like violating the country's draconian lèse-majesté laws. Government authorities stand firm that the crowd control measures are solely to prevent the spread of COVID-19, but the declarations have often come suspiciously close to the start of planned mass protests. The 4 prominent young protest leaders were all taken into custody and transported to Klong Ha police station around 3 p.m. yesterday for questioning. Bail was denied, but Penguin made the point to announce that the car mob protest scheduled for tomorrow, organised by United Thammasat for demonstration, will still take place even if the 4 activists remain in custody. The car mobs have been used to disrupt traffic, with cars and trucks displaying banners, but the protesters stay in their cars to avoid violating the emergency decree. Police greeted protests over the weekend with tear gas, rubber bullets and water cannons. A suspect was arrested on Saturday over the horrific murder of a 57-year-old Swiss Sandbox traveller found dead at the Ao Yon waterfall on Cape Panwa in Phuket on Friday afternoon. Police have taken a Thai man, Tirawat Totip, into custody and claim that he's confessed to the crime amid online suspicion that Phuket police would find a scapegoat to quickly solve the crime. The 27-year-old local man lives in Talang, 20 kilometres from the murder scene, but was tracked on a CCTV security camera riding a motorcycle near the waterfall. Police faced heavy pressure from all the way up to the Thai PM, with officials calling for swift justice to maintain confidence for international travellers coming to the Phuket Sandbox. After examining roadside CCTV near the crime scene, they attempted to stop the man for questioning and to examine his bike, but the man didn't stop. Police chased him all the way home. They claim he had bruises on his body and took him into custody, where they say he confessed to and described the crime. The suspect is reported to be a former professional kickboxer who was charged last year with narcotics possession and is said to have admitted that he was gathering orchids when he spotted the woman at the waterfall. The victim was the Deputy Protocol Chief of the Federal Assembly of Switzerland. After a new cluster of COVID-19, Koh Lipe will become the latest Thai destination to go into semi-lockdown with harsh restrictions, including a curfew. The governor of Satun province in southern Thailand has ordered a month-long partial lockdown running until September 5. A cluster of 30 infected people was discovered late last week. The strict order requires the closure of all businesses related to tourism on the holiday island, so guest houses, resorts, hotels, hostels or any other type of accommodation must be closed. There were 90 tourists on the island at the time, but have now been moved off Koh Lipe back to the mainland. And a driver in Pattaya refused to exit her car after being stopped by police and live-streamed the whole event. The woman was a suspect after reports of a drug dealer in a car whose description matched her car and was carrying an e-cigarette, illegal in Thailand. The 33-year-old was stopped by police in South Pattaya after an anonymous concerned citizen called the police hotline to report an alleged drug dealer driving a red car in the area. Police stopped the car at a checkpoint and requested a routine inspection. Later, saying she feared police would plant drugs in her car or attack her, she refused to exit the vehicle and instead started a live stream of the event as the incident unfolded. Her social media audience watched with bemusement as she refused to open the car doors for so long that police eventually just towed the car with her inside back to the Pattaya police station. The parents eventually spent 40 minutes coaching the transgender driver from her car. A urine test later showed she had drugs in her system. Apart from other charges, she'll also face a hefty bill from the tow truck company. Well, that's some of the main news stories from around Thailand today. We've got our regional news coming up and then back with Jay and me as we go through your comments. And there's some doozies from the weekend. We'll see you right after this.
After the closing ceremony of the Olympics last night in Tokyo, the fears that the Games would spread the COVID-19 virus have been debunked. The numbers suggest that didn't happen. The vaccine expansion is key to the pandemic control for healthier Indonesia. 24% of the population have had one vaccine dose, 11% have been fully vaccinated. Malaysia has relaxed its COVID-19 restrictions for fully vaccinated people in some places of the country. The daily cases are still above 18,000 for the last week. People in Myanmar have been left waiting for hours to withdraw cash because most ATMs are left empty as the infrastructure deteriorates. The city of Wuhan in China has completed a mass COVID-19 testing after some cases returned. 11.3 million people have been tested over the past month.
You're on Good Morning Thailand, Monday edition after a busy weekend of news. We've got the weather coming up a little bit later, but we'll start with some comments.
Yes.
We did a video on Friday. We went out to one of the worker camp sites to try and get the latest on what's happening with a lot of the worker camps which have been sealed up right around the country.
Yes.
Some 620 odd camps, and they remain sealed up at this stage, and there's been difficulty in some cases getting food and supplies into these camps. So I did an interview with Sean Stenning from 5 Star Marine, also representing One Phuket, who have been very active in trying to help these migrant workers. And some comments about that particular video from Adrian P, who said Thailand can buy submarines from China and training jets from South Korea, but not feed people in forced quarantine. Well, that's the point. These people have been forced to stay in there.
Yes.
If they are worker camps away from the site, they're being basically locked in with no work. At least the worker camps on site, they're being locked up as a total site, and they're able to work, but it seems at some sort of low wage rate, some 50 baht a day is what Sean reported. Well, Robert Geller, he also added his weight to the conversation, Jay. He said, first, let's understand why there are so many foreign labourers at the camps. Second, how much are the labourers paid per day? And third, why are the construction companies not responsible for the health and well-being of their workers? Well, from what we know, Robert, why there's so many forced foreign labourers at the camps, well, Thailand has a long history of using foreign labour, mostly from Burma, from Myanmar and Cambodia, to build just about anything. Yep. So if you look at what's been built in the last 20 years in Thailand, a lot of that has been foreign labour and, well, cheap labour. Second, how much of the labour is paid per day? I believe the minimum wage is 300 baht a day. But Sean was telling us that he believes the people in these camps, in some cases, are paid only 50 baht a day at the moment, as the companies running these places are sort of diving under the rules about current payment for employees during the COVID situation. And why are the construction companies not responsible for the health and welfare? Well, they are responsible, but in some cases they perhaps aren't. And this makes it very difficult to know exactly who is responsible for looking after these people at the time. But when push comes to shove, you can argue about who's responsible. But you've got cases like the Bangkok Community Health Foundation and also organisations like One Phuket in Phuket. And there are lots of other people doing similar work around the country who are just rolling up their sleeves and getting food and supplies into these camps, which is vital. So interesting story. And we should update people, by the way, for the I Am Strong fundraiser that the Thaiger organised. We were going for 41,000 Singapore dollars, which is the equivalent of about 1 million Thai baht. I think we reached over 50,000 Singapore dollars. Woohoo! So thank you to everybody. The actual charity ran its course last night, so we're sort of drawing the line under there. If any further money comes in, of course, we'll pass it on. And over the next 24 hours or so, we'll be handing the money out to the relative charities that we were raising the money for. So thank you all so much. Okay, what comments have you got there, Jay?
Right, Tim. So I've taken some comments from last week's Good Morning Thailand and Thailand News Today. I'll start off with Eddie Robb, who says, so you live in the tropics, but your plants in your office are thick plastic. Now, we went over a segment where we spoke about plastic, but our plants, yes, they are made of plastic, but they are biodegradable and they are also recycled. So, and if you wanted a closer look, here they are.
Well, the problem is, they are just dressing the set.
Yes.
If we were to have real plants in here, we've got air conditioning and we've got no natural light.
Yeah.
They'd last about 5 minutes.
Yes.
So they're just here for good looks. I'm sorry, but that's the best we can do. The same with the other one over there.
Right. I have another comment here from Sapalot, which is pineapple, in case you didn't know. It is funny that Thunderbirds keeps coming up. I had a relative that worked on the show. Nice to see people still remember his work. Now, this is about your ongoing obsession with Thunderbirds and their puppets.
It's not my obsession.
No, I just want to say, Sapalot, thank you for the comment. He knows someone who worked there. I believe that's the future of our show. It's just we're just going to be replaced by a bunch of puppets.
Marionettes, yes. Yeah, well, we don't have an obsession, but somebody mentioned that Jet looks like
Yes.
one of the Thunderbirds.
That's correct.
So we brought up a photo with, I think it was Scott Tracy, comparing him to Jet.
It's just a matter of time that we get replaced.
By the way, well done on the hair department.
Oh, thank you. I have a comment here from Peter, who is talking about the plastics again. He says, I remember buying cigarettes at 7-Eleven and being given them in a plastic bag. And when I refused the plastic bag, I got a strange look. Peter, I completely understand. We have moved a long way from that.
Do you think so? You really think so?
So that's the thing about Thailand. We have come a long way, and yet we still have a long way to go.
Yeah,
I believe that applies to almost everything.
I just don't think we've moved the bar much along the timeline at all. I think we're still using way too much plastic. I mean, they had the campaign, 18 months ago, where companies like CP All that owns 7-Eleven and the owners of Family Mart said no more plastic bags, and then Tesco got behind it, and the Central Group, but somehow the plastic bags have crept back again, and if they don't just give you a plastic bag, if you ask for one, they don't hesitate to give you one. Very few companies will charge you for plastic bags these days, or encourage you not to use them.
Exactly. I mean, the real solution would be to motivate people to bring their own paper bags or
Cloth bags.
Cloth bags, exactly.
Sure.
However, like places like in Central and Tops, they actually charge you a little bit of money for the bags.
Well, fair enough too.
Yeah, I wish they charged a lot, like 50 baht for a bag. That would definitely stop people from using those plastic
We could
bags.
have Tiger logoed
plastic bags.
hemp bags or something.
You've got an idea.
Yeah, but the problem is no one's just going to use them, but a handful of people are going to use them. We just are so hooked on the convenience of plastic bags.
In Thailand, yes.
If you just take a camera and take it to the front of any convenience store in Thailand, you'll be horrified with the amount of plastic that walks out that door.
Yes, and also the food vendors that are in front, packing your food in 3-4 pieces of plastic bags.
And then there's all the delivery services at the moment that are delivering everything in plastic, wrapped in a plastic bag, and on it goes. If you go and buy an iced coffee, you'll get it in a plastic container with a plastic straw and a plastic lid in a plastic bag, so you can jump on your motorbike and go for a ride. So we do have a big problem with plastic in the country. Sorry, I went off topic.
Lastly, I have a comment here from last week's Thailand News Today, which is actually relating to a beach birthday party in Songkhla that had 61 people arrested. And
Those evil people.
Yes, so Songkhla is a dark red zone, and alcoholic gatherings are not allowed, and non-alcoholic gatherings are only limited to 5 people at a time. So this was very relevant because I saw a lot of people debate and talk about this topic. So I have a comment here from Foodie on Tour who says, parties are described as if they are highly criminal. This is ridiculous. Maybe some common sense. Teenagers having a party is not a crime. Now, Foodie on Tour, you do have a point, and a lot of people do agree with you, and a lot of people continue to have private gatherings and parties, allegedly, in dark red zones.
Or something you'd like to share with us?
No comment.
Okay.
But I have another comment here from Gary who says, these young people should be thrown in prison.
Oh, God.
Listening to music, drinking a little chang and having fun. Fun not allowed in the new normal. How dare they, Tim?
Yeah.
How dare they?
Sinners.
Well,
Or lock them up and throw away the key.
Well, I believe in, you should be following the law, and what they did was wrong. But at the same time, they're just kids celebrating a birthday party. What they did, is it right? No, it's wrong. However, throwing them in prison just for celebrating someone's birthday,
I don't think their intentions were malicious.
Yes, definitely not.
Yeah, but certainly I think a lot of people just want to get out and do something and try and at least pretend that we have some sort of normal life. Yeah. But if you're going to go and do something like that, don't get caught. Make sure you try and socially distance and wear your masks. Yeah. And if you get the opportunity, get vaccinated.
That's right. In these times, I would just suggest everyone try to be responsible. I know it's difficult. I know you want to get out, but during these times, just try to be responsible, be safe.
Okay. You heard it from Jay. All right, with that, we're going to have a look at today's weather around Thailand. We'll come back and say goodbye. Clear air in the capital. Hot day in Bangkok, overcast and temperatures 36 for the next few days, and down to a very steamy 27 at night. Down to the southern island of Phuket, a little bit cooler, temperature of 29 degrees today. Temperatures down to around the mid-20s during the evenings, and the usual wet season, sun, cloud and a few spots of rain as well. To Thailand's northeast, and we've got relatively clear air. Top temperatures again quite high, 35 degrees, overcast for the next 3 days. Up to the north in Chiang Mai, and we've got moderate air quality, but temperatures 33, 31 and 32 for the next 3 days, down to 23 in the evenings. To the central Gulf Coast, and very clear air there today and for the next couple of days. Temperatures quite warm as well, around 33 and 32, down to 25 and 26 in the evenings. And Banglamung, where Pattaya is, we've got clear air and we've got temperatures of 31 for the next 3 days, down to 26 and 27, mostly overcast, but a bit of sunshine peering through over the next few days. And you're back on Good Morning Thailand as we look at Monday's weather, and we look at what's been happening around the country. Jay, thanks very much in your fancy new shirt, along with your fancy new haircut.
Thank you. Thank you.
So hairdressers are open at the moment?
Yes, they are.
Okay, all right. In Phuket, but not in dark red zones as far as I know.
Yes.
People up in places like Bangkok and the other 28 dark red zones, walking around with hair down to here, unshaven.
Tim, what would you do in a dark red zone?
I'd be shocking. I'd be completely lost. Nothing would happen, actually. Absolutely nothing to my hair. All right, thank you for watching. And if you do like the shirts, tell us. And if you want to buy one, we'll see if we can make them available. But 3 or 4, we're going to need hundreds of people wanting them. And of course, they come with the writing on the back.
That's right, the Tiger swagger.
All right, thanks for watching Good Morning Thailand. We've got Jet coming up later with Thailand News Today, updating all the big stories from around Thailand, but from all of us here at the Tiger, with Jason behind the buttons. Thanks for watching.